We are back in the Suburban Ford 7 Sports Cave. Matt Shepard, Tom Lydon, and the third member of our team standing by in the control room, Mike Foss, who I know is getting excited about WrestleMania, but he's been monitoring social media.
Absolutely.
We'll get a chance to talk a little wrestling shortly, Mike, but what are people buzzing about online?
That's right. Yeah, people buzzing about Verlander, people talking about, of course, Michigan State with the huge matchup coming up this afternoon in the Elite Eight. We'll get to what the people are saying on Twitter. We'll start with our pal Freddie the Pizza Man talking about Verlander. He says, in my opinion, JV reminds me of two guys who had a great historic 3 to 4 year stretch, the nosedive Oral Hershiser and Dwight Gooden. And then into the MSU predictions, Sean Phillips says Spartans will beat Louisville and Duke, then get housed by UK 2009 all over again. Hashtag Cats 40-0. And then a prediction from Dick Vitale. And I love how he tweets almost like he talks. I almost feel like I need to read it in his voice. Common denominator of Tom Izzo, Rick Pitino, their incredible passion and pride. Gut says Sparty moves on. That's a terrible Dick Vitale.
No, it wasn't. That was pretty good.
Wasn't bad.
There you go, guys.
Well, I like it. You know, I was looking ahead because that's what we're allowed to do because we're not part of the team. And I was thinking to myself, man, if Michigan State is able to put this together and somehow, some way does get matched up against Kentucky in the final, you may say I'm crazy, but what I would do is I think I would show those players that North Carolina game and say, what did we do against this North Carolina team in 09 that we shouldn't do this time? Listen, Kentucky showed that I guess they could be beaten last night, but they're still the prohibitive favorite. Most people have them going.
I think I would show them the Notre Dame game and how Notre Dame hit 20 of their 26 field goals in the paint, and that you should dribble drive on these guys, and that Kentucky, even though they have great length and even though they're a really good defensive team, they're not a great defensive rebounding team. They're ranked in the hundreds in that category for what that's worth. And I think what should scare the rest of the field about Kentucky, though, is the Wildcats did not play their A game last night. I mean, you and I were watching it together at your soiree, and Vic Faust and three outstanding executive producers who are leaving this market. So you're watching, you're going, is this their B game? Is it their B minus game? Is it their C plus game? Is this Notre Dame's A game? If it's Notre Dame's A game and Kentucky's B minus game, and Kentucky still wins, and Notre Dame's that good, everybody else should be really worried.
Yeah, I think there is reason that people should be worried, but you always go back to UNLV, and that team in 1991 that Duke beat was almost as unstoppable as this Kentucky team.
They weren't as deep, though. I mean,
look, they had very talented.
Yeah, they had as many pros, there's no question, but here's what I would tell you. The Duke team that beat them, think about all the pros that they had on that squad. Who's left in this tournament has as many pros as that? Like Michigan State, for example, we think it's been an incredible run, and they've done an unbelievable job. How many pros do they have on their team?
It's Dawson, questionably.
There you go. That's the issue, you know, and Louisville's got a couple, probably. How many guys can you bring in against those players? And it's two waves of players, because Kentucky's got a number of different pros on their team. I mean, Willie Cauley-Stein, all those guys. I mean, it's going to be tough, man, Tom. Someone's going to have to play their A game, and Kentucky's going to have to play their D game to beat them.
All right, when you're done here, ultimately later today, you're doing Pistons, right?
I am, yes.
Detroit? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Pistons do play the Heat today. You can catch the pregame and halftime and postgame with Matt over on FS Detroit. But we also want to let you know that it is time for our Pistons ticket giveaway. This week's winner is George Grabowski. He gets 4 tickets to the game on April 8th against the Celtics. So congratulations. And if you want to enter, go to WXYZ.com/contest for a chance at a weekly giveaway. 4 tickets to an upcoming Pistons home game. We'll be drawing one winner each week. And then while you're there, enter to win a monthly chance at an incredible Pistons game experience. Everything from the chance to shoot free throws on the court after a game to courtside seats during warm-ups. You visit WXYZ.com/contest. And I hear a lot of people grumbling about the fact that here go the Pistons again, doing it once more, end of the season, out of the playoff hunts, and yet they put together a winning streak. 5 in a a row if they do win today. Your thoughts on
the big Grabowski? I just wanted to say that. I couldn't resist. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do you think about that general sentiment?
Here's what I wonder. And we like Greg Monroe. He's a double-double guy every night. How much is Detroit thriving now because they're able to stretch the floor? Reggie Jackson, another triple-double Friday night in the win at Orlando, and I know it's the Magic, but they're spreading the floor. They look a lot more balanced now, I think, offensively. And I think with the minus of another post player, I think Reggie Jackson's really showing the kind of player he is.
I think it is opening some eyes, and people are beginning to be more comfortable with the fact that life could go on without Greg Monroe.
I don't care about the draft pick, quite honestly. I mean, this team's young enough, for crying out loud. They're going to get a first-round draft pick. They're going to have a second-round draft pick. Are they going to be able to get Stanley Johnson, the 3 from Arizona, who's a really good player and they could use? I don't know, but I would like to see this team start to gain wins and gain some playoff experience. I don't think there's maybe 1 or 2 guys who are going to come on onto a team next year out of the NBA draft and make them an instant contender. And I don't think Detroit, no matter how bad or well they play down the stretch, are going to be able to have that choice.
Awesome sports town. You can talk forever about any one of our teams, and no better guy to do it with than this one. We're going to come back after a short break. We're going to rejoin Justin and Rick in Syracuse. They're going to have their predictions, Michigan State and Louisville. So stay with us. The Suburban Ford 7 Sports Game rolling on this Sunday.